The South African Revenue Service says the filing season will run from the 1st of July to the 23rd of November and has encouraged taxpayers to file online. South African Revenue Service Commissioner Edward Kieswetter has warned that South Africa's job losses will have a significantly negative impact on the country's tax base. Kieswetter added that 32.6% unemployment rate combined with company closures was anticipated to have an immeasurable impact. He joins us now. A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. Kieswetter. So you've said while the impact of the third wave of COVID-19 on the economy is yet to be fully understood, it does represent a downside risk. So how do you think you'll continue to observe and modify our outlook, as you've said? Mr. Kieswetter, perhaps you are muted.
Thank you. You know, when the economist makes a prediction of what the economy will do, they obviously make certain assumptions. And we already know that the first quarter of this year delivered a quarter-on-quarter growth which was marginally better than the prediction of the economist. And so that will be adjusted as projections turn into reality. What we do see, however, is a slight rebound in the mining sector as well as in the financial services sector. And the casualties remain largely the hospitality sector. However, we also see a positive reaction to the compliance efforts by Sars. And so our first quarter revenue performance was also better than expected. And we will make that announcement of the actual results once we have finalized it. The quarter ended on the 30th of June. So that results will be available the next day. So all in all, I think we are slightly better than our expectation, both in terms of economic recovery as well as in terms of the revenue performance.
Okay, so it sounds like you seem to anticipate a positive outlook for this financial year, but how will you safeguard the public's confidence in our tax administration, especially during these unprecedented times?
Well, I think if you take the filing season as an example of our response, what we're trying to do is to balance, on the one hand, the obligation by taxpayers to fulfill their filing duties and to settle the outstanding taxes, and for SARS, obviously, also to refund taxes where it is due, as well as for SARS to continue its revenue collection mandate. That's on the one hand. But we also find ourselves in an unprecedented pandemic. We find ourselves smack bang in the middle of a third wave. And so we launched our filing season yesterday without a single branch being open. And that's unprecedented. In other words, we launched our filing season completely virtual, online. And that's made possible because of the tremendous effort by honest, hardworking men and women at SARS who have produced an enabling environment that now makes it possible for the individual taxpayers to fulfill all their obligations on a digital platform, whether that is to register for tax, whether it is to get a statement of your accounts, whether it is to submit a return, whether it is to declare a dispute, resolve that dispute. So the entire value chain of obligations have now been digitized. And in addition to that, we are also helping to empower taxpayers by providing educational webinars and other help support resources. But in addition to that, we also have done two other things. We have added normal, ordinary cell phones to our suite of channels with whom taxpayers can engage with us. So now you can send us an SMS and you can request your tax number, you can request an appointment. We also have added over 2,000 of our staff. We have enabled them with devices that a taxpayer can call in and either have a visual or an audio engagement where they can be helped to fulfill their obligation. So we really have done a tremendous amount of work. And of course, in the back of that, what the public cannot see is the tremendous amount of work that we have done in data science, data analytics, that makes all of the behind-the-scenes calculations and assessment work possible by the use of machine learning algorithms and the expansive pool of data.
So, Mr. Kieswetter, allow me to just ask this question. As you talk about the digitization, what are you learning from peer reviews, especially during COVID-19? You know, has it helped you to broaden the tax base? Because I know you've spoken about a shift just in terms of voluntary tax payments by certain segments, particularly here, large businesses.
Well, so we have in the last fiscal year, we have registered over 900,000 additional taxpayers. But to your specific question, when we deploy technology and data as a resource to improve the integrity of the work we do, the first intent thereof is to provide a better service. So, for example, you will know that, you will have heard that for this filing season, Sars will provide an automated assessment to over 3 million people. That means they won't have to do anything. They simply will log on. We will inform them that they have been auto-assessed, and if they accept the outcome, we'll show them the calculation, then the job is done. Through the work we have done, we also improve our capability to detect non-compliance. So you will have heard us say that we were able to prevent 57 billion rand of refund fraud. These are statements or declarations made by taxpayers where they either underdeclare income or overstate expenses wrongfully. We were also able to detect 26,000 individuals who were not registered but had economic activity in excess of R1 million. And so there are many examples where data science, artificial intelligence, and the technology platform indeed, on the one hand, help us to provide a better service to honest taxpayers, but also is beginning to lay the planks for better detection and response to non-compliance.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. SARS Commissioner Edward Kieswetter, and the filing season begins the 1st of July today, or yesterday rather, and it runs up until the 23rd of November.